Well, folks, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys all the O-scale stuff I bought at the OVAR train show in detail, as well as test any items that can be tested, such as this Lionel steam locomotive and this passenger car, which I think might be lighted. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I guess we'll just have to find out. Anyway, a YouTuber by the name of Havoc Films reached out to me on Instagram the other day and said, "Hey SMT, tomorrow's my birthday. Would it be possible for you to show all the O-scale stuff?" And I was already going to do a video about this, so I just figured, hey, what the heck? We'll make it today and get it up there. So Havoc Films, happy birthday to you, my friend. I hope this is what you were looking for. Anyway, with all that being said, let's get started. I'm going to show each and every piece of rolling stock in detail, starting with this Baby Ruth boxcar. I can't say it's in terribly good condition. The shell's cracked and it kind of pops off the rest of the chassis. It's also pretty dirty. It definitely needs some restoration work. Funny enough, I actually bought one of these last year from the same vendor in a lot. And this one was also in terrible shape, but I cleaned it up and as you can see it looks pretty good. So hopefully we can get this one to a similar state. And then we'll have two of them. I know the paint's a lot more faded on this one, or I don't know, maybe they made them in a different color at that time, but I'm sure we can get it to a better state than this, so that should be good. And next up is this Lionel flat car. This thing's also in terrible shape. You can see it's missing some parts and it's super dirty. It does have both its couplers though, and all of its wheels appear to be fine. It rolls well, so I don't know, there's nothing too special about this, but it's sort of cool. And we also got this flat car. This is kind of interesting. I like the little handbrake on the side here. Nice detail. Very classic with the Lionel writing on there. And it's got both its couplers. I don't know, sort of a cool piece. I think it would be way cooler if we loaded something onto this and maybe cleaned it up a little. But all in good time. This piece right here I think is really cool. I'm sure when it was sold, I would assume at least that it came with some little cars or something like that. And it certainly would look pretty cool if we could find some O-scale cars for it and cleaned it up a bit. Just like all the other stuff, it's quite dirty, so it needs a bit of work. But this is definitely one of the more interesting pieces in that lot, and yeah, I like it quite a bit. Now this was basically the main reason I bought this whole lot. This thing is just really cool. First of all, I think it's lighted. I suspect if it does have a light, maybe it's burnt out or something, but I don't know. It does have some contacts or something on the bottom. And you can see they've got kind of silhouettes of people on the inside, which is really cool. And I think that would look quite awesome if it was lit up. They've got the dome. It's just got such a classic feel to it as well. It's quite scuffed up, but that gives it kind of some character, so that's pretty cool. Clifton, I don't know, I find it kind of classy in a weird way. It's funny, but I really like this piece. It's also my first piece of Lionel passenger stock, so that's kind of interesting. I don't find you see as much Lionel passenger stock as you do freight stock. And now we've got the locomotive. I'd like for you guys to keep in mind too all the stuff you've seen so far. This all cost me like 10 Canadian dollars, so it was really cheap, so really quite a deal there. And I thought it was pretty cool to get a locomotive included in the lot. As I said in a previous video, I'm not too fond of the paint job that's been done on it. I think I'd like to change that, but it's a nice little locomotive and the tender's pretty good. And I don't know, maybe I'll pair it up with that special passenger car, and this can be like my passenger train, assuming the locomotive works, and then my current kind of freighter can take on some of those more interesting freight cars. Anyway, now that we've shown everything, I think we'll move on to actually testing things like the locomotive and that passenger car. Alright, so to begin our tests, we'll start off with the Lionel passenger car to figure out once and for all if this thing is lighted or not. I really hope it is. I think that'd be a really cool feature, especially with all the figures on the inside. Anyway, we're going to give it some power. This controller, by the way, I'm so happy I bought it. It's been so much better than the other controller. And also, one day while I was doing a live stream, the track broke, it shorted, and as it turns out, this is a breaker. So, very happy to have that feature instead of the controller start burning up. So anyway, Let's just put some power in the track here. And... Alright, so either it's not lighted, or if there are light bulbs in there, they're burnt out. You know what, guys, I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to try to open this thing up and see if we can find out once and for all, because I'm too curious. Well, folks, I wasn't able to get this thing fully open. I think I have to drill out some rivets, but I was able to lift this piece out and get this really classy strip out. And now we can see inside. And if we look right in there, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a light bulb in there. Not just one, but there are two of the little devils in there. So this thing is lighted, so I'm pretty jazzed about that. But yeah, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get into this thing at some point and replace those bulbs. That way we can have our fancy new deluxe Lionel passenger car. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. Does the locomotive work? I'm really unsure, too, if this thing's going to work or not, because you can see it does roll pretty well, which is a good sign. At least there's not a lot of resistance, but I don't know. Lionel, they build their motors well, but these are also very old locomotives, so it's not inconceivable the coils might be blown, especially since, I don't know, weird stuff was done to it. Anyway. Wow. Certainly not the healthiest sounding, but it does run. I wonder, does this thing have an E-unit? That doesn't sound good. It's trying. I think it's got a jammed up E-unit there. Alright, well, I guess it kind of runs. I mean, it did turn over, but I think just like my other Lionel unit there, I think I might consider bypassing the E-unit or fixing whatever this thing is. Because I don't know, I just find they're a little simpler when they don't have all those extra complicated features. I only need it to go forwards, frankly, so that should be okay. With that, guys, I want to thank you all for watching.